Hello everybody, today we're talking about historical cat people. That is, historical figures that were really into cats. Is it possible to like cats too much? Probably, as we'll see coming up. But let's get started with our first historical cat person, which is Sir Isaac Newton, who invented the cat door. Probably what he's most known for. No. He's probably most known for like inventing gravity or whatever. But he also invented the cat door, probably. I mean, the article I read said that the rumor is that he had 2 holes cut out of his office door so that a mother cat and her kittens could come and go into the office as they pleased. So it seems like they somehow don't know, because it says in the article that the rumor is that that's what happened. I mean, how do you not know? Either he invented the cat door or he did. It's not that hard. But we'll just assume that he did, because it's funnier, I think. And it's not that important. Let's move on to another scientist, Nikola Tesla. When he was a child, his family owned a cat named Macaque. And he has I don't know where he wrote this, but I have a quote from Tesla that I'll just read to you. In the dusk of the evening, as I stroked Macaque's back, I saw a miracle which made me speechless with amazement. Macaque's back was a sheet of light, and my hand produced a shower of crackling sparks loud enough to be heard all over the house. My mother seemed charmed. "Stop playing with the cat," she said. "He might start a fire." But I was thinking abstractly, is nature a gigantic cat? And if so, who strokes its back? I cannot exaggerate the effect of this marvelous night on my childish imagination. Day after day, I have asked myself, what is electricity? So Nikola Tesla became interested in electricity because of his cat. So in a way, Tesla's cat Macaque is the reason why we have AC, alternating current electricity, which is great. Catherine the Great was a cat person. She had a retreat palace, the Winter Palace in St. Petersburg, which was home to 300 cats. In the basement, she had a bunch of worker cats whose job it was to hunt vermin and other such things. And Catherine the Great officially promoted all of these cats to guard status and gave them salaries and food rations, which is adorable. But she also, in the upper floors of the palace, had like purebred cats. She especially liked the cat breed Russian Blue, and she would give Russian Blues as gifts to ambassadors. So there you go. Catherine the Great, owner of 300 cats. That's pretty impressive in my opinion. Abraham Lincoln liked cats. His wife, Mary Todd Lincoln, was once asked if Abraham Lincoln had any hobbies. And Mary Todd Lincoln responded, cats. Abraham Lincoln owned several cats at the White House, even though he left his dog Fido behind in Springfield, Illinois. So, I mean, I guess he liked cats better than his dog, which he left behind, by the way. Once at a state dinner, Abraham Lincoln was feeding one of his cats named Tabby from the table, and his wife complained. But Lincoln said that if the golden fork was good enough for former President James Buchanan, I think it is good enough for Tabby. Damn. There's another fun little story, that during the Civil War in 1865, Lincoln was meeting with General Ulysses Grant, and he came across a bunch of cats in a telegraph hut. He scooped them up and cuddled them onto his lap, and according to Admiral David Porter, Lincoln talked to them saying, "Kitties, thank God you are cats and can't understand this terrible strife that is going on." Very sweet. And before he left, he made sure the cats were going to be fed and sheltered. So very sweet. Calvin Coolidge, another president, He owned 4 cats, Tigger, Blackie, Timmy, and Smokey. But I mean, it's not that impressive because he owned a ton of random pets. He owned raccoons, donkeys, birds, and a wallaby. But I think it says that Coolidge had a special spot in his heart for his cats. So I guess he was a cat person. We can consider him a cat person because if he had every possible pet and still preferred his cats, I mean, that's pretty indicative of his love of cats, don't you think? I think once he lost his cat, Tiger, while in the White House, and there was a big search that happened, and did they deploy the Secret Service to look for the cat? Wait, I need to check this. Yeah, there was a pretty big manhunt for Calvin Coolidge's cat, Tiger, after Tiger disappeared. The president dispatched all the White House staff to search for the cat. He enlisted the city police to look for the cat. He went on the radio to ask for people to look for the cat. And eventually they did find Tiger. And after that whole hullabaloo, Coolidge got Tiger a new collar that declared, "My name is Tiger. I live at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue," which is a pretty badass kitten collar, if I've ever seen one. So Mark Twain was a pretty big cat person. He owned 19 cats, which is a lot, in my opinion. And he has this nice quote that I would like to read. Quote, "If man could be crossed with the cat, it would improve man, but it would deteriorate the cat." Often when he was away from home, he would rent cats. He would pay the owners of cats a large sum of money just to have access to their cats, which is a little weird. He also named a lot of his cats pretty wild names, which I'll read a few to you now. These are a few of Mark Twain's cats' names. Apollinaris, Beelzebub, Blatherskit, Buffalo Bill, Satan, Sin, Sour Marsh, Tammany, Zoroaster, Soapy Sal, Pestilence, and Bambino. None of those names are cat names. Yeah, and one day, much like Calvin Coolidge, one day Mark Twain's cat Bambino escaped. And Mark Twain was frantic. He sent notice to all of the newspapers offering a $5 reward for his return, which I assume is more in today's money. And even though the cat returned on its own a few days later, and Twain sent notice to all the papers that the cat had returned, people were still turning up at his home with cats for him. People are so annoying. Here's another writer who really liked cats, Ernest Hemingway. He owned a cat named Snowball who had 6 toes. He got it from a ship's captain. And today there are between 40 and 50 six-toed cats, which are descendants of Snowball, that lived at the Ernest Hemingway home and museum in Florida. And to this day, cats with 6 toes are sometimes referred to as Hemingway cats because Hemingway had a 6-toed cat. That's dumb. Speaking of writers, Emily Bronte, who wrote Wuthering Heights, she liked cats. She has a quote that I'd like to read. A quote, "I can say with certainty that I like cats. I can give very good reasons why those who despise them are wrong. A cat is an animal who has more human feelings than almost any other being. We cannot sustain a comparison with the dog. It is infinitely too good. But the cat, although it differs in some physical points, is extremely like us in disposition. A cat, in its own interest, sometimes hides its misanthropy. Under the guise of amiable gentleness, instead of tearing what it desires from its master's hand, it approaches with a caressing air, rubs its pretty little head against them, and advances a paw whose touch is as soft as down. I guess she liked cats. Here's something that's kind of fun. Eartha Kitt, who was the actress that played Catwoman in the 1960s Batman television series. I think there were several actors that played Catwoman, but she was one of them. Eartha Kitt, she liked cats in real life, which is fun. When she hung out with her cat before performances. I like people that get into character. Florence Nightingale, the founder of modern nursing, right? She had 60 cats in her lifetime, and at one point she owned 17 cats at one time. That's a lot of cats, in my opinion. She never married, she just hung out with her 17 cats. Which honestly, respect. Another person who liked cats, Pablo Picasso. He has a lot of cat paintings that he painted, which I'll put on screen now. He painted a lot of cats. He owned a lot of animals during his lifetime, including dogs, birds, a goat named Esmeralda, and cats. So I don't know if he would consider himself a cat person or a dog person or a goat person, but he definitely liked cats. The composer Scarlatti had a cat named Pulcinella, which is a great cat name in my opinion. I think one day Scarlatti noticed his cat, Pulcinella. This is fun. He noticed his cat on the piano, or on his keyboard, and he composed a fugue based off the notes that the cat played on his keyboard, which is pretty fun in my opinion. Also, the composer Rossini composed a duet where two people just meow at each other. And it's called like the Cat Duet. And it is pretty fun. Also, the composer Mozart, I don't know if he owned any cats, but he was known to, when he was bored, he would jump up onto tables and meow like a cat, which I feel like that should count as liking cats. He would jump onto tables, meow like a cat, and do somersaults, which is pretty epic. So those were all of the cat people that I wanted to talk about. There are a lot more historical figures that are cat people, but those are just some people I found interesting. One interesting thing I came across while researching this, you know who's not a cat person? Andrew Lloyd Webber, the composer of the musical Cats. Apparently he disliked the 2019 film Cats so much that he became a dog person. I have a quote from him. Quote, "Cats was off the scale all wrong. There weren't really any understanding of why the music ticked at all. I saw it and I just thought, oh God, no. It was the first time in my 70-odd years on this planet that I went out and bought a dog. So the one good thing to come out of it is my little Havanese puppy." God damn. And he also has this anecdote, which I'd like to read to you. When he was trying to bring his dog onto a plane as a support animal, I'll just read you the quote that he said. Quote, "I wrote off and said that I needed my dog with me at all times because I'm emotionally damaged and I must have this therapy dog. The airline wrote back and said, 'Can you prove that you really need him?' And I said, 'Yes. Just see what Hollywood did to my musical Cats.' Then the approval came back with a note saying, 'No doctor's report required.'" Okie dokie, well that's all I have. Meow. which is cat for goodbye.